In this video we will talk about military technologies where the Israelis are truly unbeatable. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news. The day after its declaration of independence, on May 15, 1948, a coalition of 7 Arab nations, supported by several guerrilla groups, attacked Israel from all fronts and with a single purpose: to destroy the Israeli state right away. Before having sufficient strength to guarantee its existence. But despite fighting alone and with only the weapons left behind by the British, after 9 months of terrible fighting, Israel emerged victorious. From that moment on, it became even clearer to the Israelis that they would need to invest heavily in defense. Otherwise, they would risk being destroyed by new coalitions of Arab nations. That war and the several others that followed in the following decades reinforced this premise, with the Israelis dedicating a huge effort and many investments to the development of new technologies in the area of defense until the 1960s. One of Israel's main allies in this area was the France, which, among many other things, actively supported its nuclear program, which resulted in the development of the Israeli atomic bomb in that decade. Until the end of the 1960s, practically all Israeli fighters were of French origin, with these aircraft also serving as a basis for the development of local variations, such as the IE Kafir and IE Nasher, both based on the Dassault Mirage V. It was only in the late 1960s and 1970s that the Israelis began to migrate to systems American defense forces, with all their fighters being gradually replaced. This was also observed in other areas, such as armor, with the Israelis operating large quantities of the M48 and M60 Patton until the 70s and 80s. Quite contrary to what happened with the French, with the United States, the Israelis managed to establish partnerships for the local development of defense technologies, with these partnerships paving the way for the creation of very advanced systems, which gave Israelis technological dominance in several areas. The first important area of Israeli dominance is anti-aircraft defense, more specifically defense against rockets and artillery shells. In the late 1990s and early 21st century, the Lebanese group Hezbollah, created and financed by Iran, began an increasingly massive bombing of cities and villages in northern Israel. It was a type of weapon against which the Israelis had no defense, with traditional air defenses unable to intercept those small projectiles. For many years, all the Israelis could do was take cover in shelters, waiting for the artillery fire to stop. They needed an efficient way to defend themselves from projectiles that, despite being small, were still very lethal. Emerging from this effort was the Iron Dome, which debuted in 2011. It was developed by the Israelis at Rafael and II, with large funds from the United States to begin the mass production phase. It is a specific air defense to intercept small rockets and artillery, and is therefore supported by highly accurate special radars, capable of detecting and tracking, dozens of kilometers away, small projectiles not much larger than a fist. The Iron Dome missiles, called Tamir, are also special for this task, being incredibly agile, quickly changing course, detonating 1 or 2 meters from the target, forcing the explosive charge to detonate during the flight phase. Therefore, specifically in the area of defenses, counter-rockets and small artillery projects, the Israelis are truly unbeatable in the world. The other area in which the Israelis were forced to develop strongly was in offensive weapons against armor. In the various conflicts in which they were involved between the 50s and 70s, their opponents were heavily armed by the Soviets, and inside these weapons were the armored vehicles, with Egyptians, Syrians, Lebanese, Jordanians and Iraqis, launching thousands of armored vehicles against Israel in all those terrible and brutal conflicts. This was very evident in 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, with the Israelis simply unable to stop the advance of Syrian armor across the Golan Heights. That conflict made a serious Achilles heel of the Israeli army very clear: the lack of modern anti-tank missiles. This finding, in 1973, led Israel to invest heavily in the development of anti-tank missiles, resulting, in 1981, in Spike, a shoot-and-forget missile. In other words, after the enemy vehicle is locked onto the target and the missile is launched, the operator can immediately leave the area, reducing the chances of being detected by the enemy. The Spike is much more than a missile. It is an anti-tank weapon concept, made up of 9 different models, each for a specific use. From a mini version, with a missile weighing just 4 kilograms and a range of 1.5 kilometers, designed to be operated by just one soldier. A short-range SR version, with a missile weighing just under 10 kilograms, more aimed at attacking armored vehicles, and going through medium and long-range versions, with missiles that can weigh up to 14 kilograms and a range of up to 4 kilometers. But Spike doesn't stop there, with specific versions for launching from vehicles, aircraft such as attack helicopters, and even from fast attack boats. The heaviest version, the Spike Los, has a range of an impressive 25 kilometers, with the missile weighing close to 70 kilograms, ideal for destroying enemy bunkers and fortifications. With Spike, Israel reached the same level as the other great powers, but standing out in the leadership due to the fact that it is a comprehensive and complete system, including land, air and naval aspects, and from short to very long range. In the area of armored vehicles, the Israelis stand out as technological leaders in an increasingly vital sector, active defense. Unlike explosive reactive defenses, which are explosive bricks that detonate when hit by anti-tank grenades, active defenses intercept threats while they are still in flight, destroying them before they can reach the vehicle. This technology was born from the Israelis' need to protect their armored vehicles from point-blank shots from anti-tank RPGs, mainly in combat in an urban environment, with ambushes just 30 or 40 meters away. Against this type of attack, explosive reactive defenses can be bypassed, as after being detonated, they no longer protect the vehicle. And for this reason, in 2010, Rafael began installing Trophy on Israeli armored vehicles, a system composed of radars that cover all angles of the vehicle, detecting and tracking threats such as RPG grenades and anti-tank missiles, launching small spheres against these threats. Metallic weapons that detonate an explosive weapon at a safe distance from the vehicle. This is a very advanced and complex technology that the Israelis have mastered to a great advantage. The list would not be complete without drones, with the Israelis leading in areas such as observation drones and the very important area of attack drones, more specifically in the category of kamikaze drones, relatively small devices. Thank you very much for watching the video, and now I invite you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we'll see you more often, and so you'll be up to date with everything that's happening.